I expect, like me, you found that with watercolour it's one of those things that you need to be flowing with, be into at the time. You can't just, well, usually it's difficult to just go back to it after a long space, break away from it and just go straight in. So I did that watercolour the other day and then touched it up with pastel. It started off alright, but I overworked it a bit at the end. These are a new set of colour values, this particular French scene, that I haven't really found the colours for as yet. So I'm going to do it again today, but a different, the same woman in her original situation actually, because the previous one we took the woman out and superimposed her into the picture. So we've got another street scene here. She's just walking down this in the shadow, and I've drawn a little bit more carefully this time because I feel last time the acrylic was more successful than the watercolour. The watercolour was alright, but to say, just lost its vibrancy at the end. This time I really do want to try and get my colours fresh, straight on, and not be glazing over the top, which I had to do last time. So let's see how we get on with the pure watercolour this time. I don't want to have to use pastel effect carpet or gouache. We'll see if we can just get the lights right. We're using the same paper, it's a knot paper again. Rather be using a rough, but I haven't got any at the moment, I'll have to use this knot. With the Russian paints again. We may change brushes about a bit this time though. I shall do most of it with a mop, but I may well start using some flats or even a hake on this. Let's see how we get on with this one, see if we can get this one a bit brighter and a bit fresher than the previous one. Well, once again I've done the drawing by quartering it up into quarters and halves and doing the same on the paper and then just gridding around. The paper's a bit longer than the photograph, but it won't matter for this job. And I want to start off with the salient points again. I'm going to work that same way as last time and just paint in my details first of all and then come back to painting very loosely around those details. So let's start off then. We need a small round brush. This figure has to be quite cool in this light. I'm going to start off with the hair, just give it a little tint of lemon yellow, just to keep things cool there. Just a wee tint down that side, nothing tremendous. And leave the rest of it light. Back of my neck and so on. Now down here, I'm going to start off cool. So I'm going to just use a cool blue just down the side of her shoulder here. I want to keep it light. Just a little bit of this very cool blue down here. Actually, I'm not going to do the sky first this time. And well, that's on my brush. As usual, if you've got a colour on your brush, use it. We'll bring that down around her dress here, that coolness of the I'm going to paint wet into wet here. A bit more of the lemon yellow again. Just let that come down. Wet into wet there as well. And I want to go a little bit pinker on that in a minute. So I'm going to take a little bit of rose madder. We'll just warm up a little bit with the rose. Just to get a bit of reflected light going on in and around here, down that edge. It goes a little bit deeper blue. I'll take some ultramarine and we'll just drop that in. Some lovely colours going out. I do want to try and get vibrancy with my watercolour, the same as I can with my acrylics, which I'm sure we can do. Around there. So that gives us that bit of light dress. The ultramarine here just to bring out the light of that there. And I'm going to put that ultramarine around there as well. Now, the girl herself, just give her arm a little tint of a slight bit of pink here. Keep it light again. And then herself, rose again, I think, first, which is a cool red. I'll just bring that down her back here, quite light first. So I'm going to be fairly careful in this bit of painting, and we'll drop the warms in next. Go quite deep red, go to a carmine now. Drop that in. Still a fairly cool red amongst us. Just across the back of her neck here, shoulder and down. Keep it fairly simple. That arm too big, comes round and down here. If I go around, I'll be able to darken that down a bit round her arm. A little bit more warmth into it now, and we'll start to bring in some cadmium red. Really get that bit of warmth going against the cool. And some of that purple we were using from earlier. It's much darker just down here. Right under and down around under her arm here. And that little bit of dark around her hair here, which is important. Just brings out the hair. Let's see if we can get this vibrance then that we want. And see if we can equal the acrylics if possible. Lift that out a bit. A little bit lighter. And this blue here, a little bit stronger. It comes around here against the arm. Now, down her leg, just a slight tint of warmth, because I want it quite light there. We can just hint at the so salient points, as I was saying, we're just making these slightly stronger points at the moment. Just touching her up a bit. Spread out a bit into here, but that won't matter because I'm going to go across that with a darker colour anyway. Just a fraction warmer down the side of her hair. So I'm just going to bring a little bit of raw sienna down here. She's an integral, she's a very important part of this painting. Okay, well, we'll keep her at that. Small bit of drawing, it's careful not to wreck it. Now, let's have a look at any other integral points that I'm doing. Important points, salient features. Should be painted quite thickly with quite heavy paint to make it as dark as I need it. And again, we want them quite deep. Kind of warm on that, so I'll take a bit of the sienna again and just bring that in there, let that blend into those darks. Lemon yellow and drop it in there. We'll just have a go at these bushy trees. They're catching the light here. and bring those warm greens just out into the picture. Wet into wet at first here, just giving this the effect of light. A small brush. A bit of ultramarine next, and with that some fancy yellow to drop in the warmer darks here. Keep nice clean bright colours if we can this time. It's going to drop down later. There we go. So we've got our different techniques there for the lamp, for her, for the trees. This one we can do with a bigger brush. I don't think I need to paint too much more detail in at this stage. I think we can go straight to the sky and work our way down. I'm just preparing my brushes now. I've put on my little square-ended flats ready and my oval mop and a rigger if I need one as well. So let's see what we can do with this. I was tempted to use a hake, but I think we'll stick to the mop for the minute. Let's start with the sky. And normally I would turn the sky upside down because I want to have a very greeny tint at the top here. But today, not so. I'm going to do a very light turquoise mix at the bottom here. So I'm going to start my way. So I'm going to variegated wash. I'm going to bring it right through here and just drop it in again in just a moment. A little bit stronger now as I go up. Let that just drop in. Very light across here. I'm going to go across those trees again down there later. I want this lovely turquoise blue all the way through here. Just a little bit of the cool to come down through these buildings. We'll drop that in just a moment. We'll make that a bit yellower, a bit lighter. Just want to get this started. A little bit warmer with my blue, and we'll come in with a slightly stronger blue over this. Dropping that in. Still want it fairly turquoise up here though. Just want to let the cloud just show there. A little bit. So a lovely turquoise and slightly ultramarine blue coming in. A little bit stronger up here I think. I want a very slight hint of madder coming through. Let's see if we can just lift out a fraction of the clouds. A little bit of cloud just there. By lifting out underneath the cloud, just a touch of pink again, just to feel that edge of that cloud just a little. Let that dry off a bit before we glaze over that. Look at our sky. Let's work our next lightest up. Going to have a little bit of this blue reflecting here and there on this turquoise down here. So we'll just flick in to the light some of these little bits of pale blue. Light colours, my light blue's out at the moment. And yellow and a bit of that green just to tint down here. Feel this wall as it comes down. Again, we want to keep it nice and vibrant. Yellow ochre. Just to start to warm some of it here. wet into wet. This colour here is going to be a difficult one. I think we'll go for a very light orange there to start with. Very pale yellow just to get the feeling of this lovely warm roof. So we'll use a cadmium yellow deep on that. Come across these two. What I really feel is this purple against the yellow of the roof. Keep it loose, I think, as long as it doesn't spread too far. And we'll just start to bring that purple into the distance here as well, while it's still just damp enough to get the feeling of the distant trees and hills there. Nice pinks and warms that are happening down this edge. Just beginning to find. What is this colour going to be? So we've got to go, suddenly now we've got to start hitting our much darker colours. So I'm going to just make some purple and brown here. This lovely dark just here. Just paint it in one slab like that, quick as I can. A little bit of shadow going on up here. Some darks happening just down there. Bluer there, a bit more cobalt. That pipe comes down into the ground here. Just out a bit. Keep that simple. Again, don't want to go into too much detail there. Just touching little points here and there to make our point. Now, I'm going to have to be brave and make a start on this, so let's take our madder first and just drop that in here, because I want to go quite dark down here. There'll be quite a mixture of colours down here as well. And I want that lovely turquoise again with a little bit of the yellow. So I want to go quite dark into here. So the turquoise and a bit of the cadmium yellow deep. With a lovely deep green just here. Deep gold green. I come down there and come into this and drop this lemon yellow into this in just a moment. Let's really try and get a much brighter effect of the light this time than we lost last time. Now back into my lighter green. I want to drop this green in amongst this. Really try and find this luminosity by using these different warm and cool blues. Right, move on, and we'll just put a little bit more warmth into this building here to bring it forward a bit. Nice and light, doesn't want to be too much darker, but just behind here perhaps, so we'll just thin that out and bring those colours in a bit. Back behind there, we want to yet again darken these distant trees and hills a little bit. Just use some of this blue mixture we have to darken those trees down a fraction more. Let that dry down before we put any more shadow there. Let's work down onto these a bit more now while we're at it. There's a bit more orange coming down there. Make it too strong, but just liven it up. And it's a bit redder to this window here. These reds are reflecting down the steps. Into that pot. Make the darks around her very carefully. So I'm going to take a bit of purple and a wee bit of green. Put some lovely darks just there. We'll see if we can come around her. Effects of the branches coming out of these trees comes right down the side of her here. It is important that this is quite dark against her, it's not going to work. So more and more dark being dropped in here around her to really make her stand out. Dark's coming right out through there, and I can just indicate these railings as they come here into this by using this technique. As it comes right up into there, and just feels my way across here. Here and here. Now it's dry enough to take it, hopefully. I can just indicate these lines through the roof. Make a completely different feeling to the other one. So Trevor can see another way of working and how I want to try and keep it fresh. Dark around there again, down to here. I'm still working my darks up here, so my purple and my deep green give me a nice warm dark. And this time, hopefully we're keeping our vibrancy of lights against darks. And we'll look at the lovely cool shadows that are happening in here the same first of all. We had it with her earlier. Before I put stronger colour into this, what I want to do at the moment is just get the shadows working. So this paint up. We'll reuse it over here. Going to get these colours into here now. A bit warmer. That blue, bit of purple into there in just a minute as well, and we'll really slap in this bit of dry brushwork too if we can. More of a feeling of the purple happening and deep shadows in here. Although this paper is not really rough enough to take this, it should allow me just to get a bit of glazing. I really wanted to get nice sharp edges on this. I don't want to be getting too I can really find these warms happening in here a bit. It's these little bits of dark that are going to really bring it out shortly. Really rich colours for this first a lot, but that colour actually isn't far off the actual colour I want for the wall in places there. That dry down a bit. While that's drying down, I'm going to come down to here and drop in a load of that cadmium yellow deep. Right through here. with some burnt sienna. And use my yellow ochre right through here, or raw sienna, whichever, because I don't want it quite so bright a yellow in here. Let that link in. Perhaps now you begin to see what I meant when I said earlier about trying to keep vibrant colour. That's what I'm trying to do the whole time. To an orange here now. Bring that orange into it. Really get strong there. Come back to that doorway and just add a bit there as well. Okay, now this dark area of the leaves, very, very deep green. We'll start dropping that very, very deep green into here. Just leaving some of that showing. Lovely effects we can get with watercolour that I could not get with the acrylics, and this is why I want to play with these watercolours more, because we're using it for the purpose. We're using the best medium and method for the purpose that we're trying to achieve here. Going darker against the light just there. Perhaps this time I'm just beginning to get the feel of it. So once I get into my flow, and this is what it sometimes takes, you can't just go and do a watercolour straight away, you've got to do a couple, I think, to get back into it again if you're doing watercolours. Now this colour here, again I think we should start with a mixture of our beautiful light turquoise green. Can paint right the way around here into that. Drop the colours into it in just a minute. Come across here by all means. One of the beauties of painting this in advance, we can just come straight back in here with these colours. Don't want it too muddy. Be careful about the mud. You want to find these tones though. Into this bush. And now I feel a lot better about this as a watercolour. It works much, much better than previously. I just have to let it dry off a bit now so that I can do my little dark details at the end. Just take a square brush. I need to come back into my little windows and things over here that need to be a bit more carefully done. A bit of ultramarine, and come back into these windows just here, and if I'm careful I should be able to just paint these in, leaving the middles behind. Anywhere else like that, little details perhaps here. I can use my little pointy brush in a minute as well. Nice clean watercolour this time. Shan't need the pastel at all on this one because I've been able to be much freer with my, cleaner with my strokes. I'll just texture some branches into these trees now that it's dried a bit. And we must call that painting done. I mean, this is the point that we've simplified it right down this time. I think we can almost leave that one at that. I think we're just about there. Tempted just to do a bit of splattering on it, I must admit, just to texture the thing a little bit more. Don't want to go and spoil it. Equally, if you don't risk, you don't go any further in life. A little bit of opaque paint now, just drag a bit of warm here and there. There we go. Loose watercolour, going from tight to loose to tight. showing you the use of different brushes. How loosely we've painted all of this. We've kept these tones this time much fresher.